I'm young, I'm handsome, I'm fast, I'm pretty, and can't possibly be beat.
Muhammad Ali, the name says it all, the greatest boxer of all time, humanitarian activist, a true inspiration. Ali has long retired from the sport, but he is still fighting. He, of course, is in the battle against Parkinson's disease. Rasheda Ali is one of Ali's 9 kids. She's also an author, Parkinson's disease advocate, and she sits on the advisory board of Brainstorm Cell Therapeutics, which is looking for a cure to Parkinson's and ALS. So, Rasheda, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me today.
We have to ask you from the start, for all of his loving fans, how's your father doing?
He's great. We always talk to him. He's feeling wonderful. He's doing wonderful. And I just can't wait to see him again. So, thank you.
There is this new hope now with the work with stem cells. So tell me a little bit about the leaps that are being made every day at this point.
I'm excited, first of all, to be here because Brainstorm is one of those emerging scientific teams that when we started phase 1 and 2, the results were amazing. Those, usually when you start phase 1 and 2, you look for safety. And we're starting to see signs of efficacy early on. And we're even seeing some incredible results with our compassionate patient studies. The studies have been so remarkable, even the scientific team, it really exceeded their expectations. So the Ministry of Health in Israel, because the compassionate patients were being studied at Hadassah, which is in Jerusalem. The Ministry of Health is like Jerusalem's version of the FDA for us. They sent us on a fast track to start phase 2A, which is incredible in terms for these patients, because they can get 2A basically means it's a dose escalated trial, which means patients are getting stem cells at a larger dose.
Yeah, and it's so complicated.
Yes,
but basically,
I know,
to explain, I mean, the stem cells hopefully can help those with Parkinson's, but they're being used in ALS patients, and basically they're taken from the patients themselves and then cultured in a special way and then re-injected in areas that are impacted by the disease, and people are finding that they're feeling better, which is amazing because this is a disease that acts very quickly, it's degenerative, and it's ultimately fatal. So you're talking about brand new studies that are seeing real change.
We are. I mean, the good thing about our company is that we're taking stem cells that are autologous, which are from the patient's own stem cells. We, like you said, differentiate them. We use our neurone technology, and we implant them into 2 locations on the muscle and the spinal cord. And what we do is we monitor them 3 to 6 months after transplantation, and we see how it goes. We had compassionate patients that have been doing incredibly, at least the progression have stopped for them. So we're excited about those studies, and we're hoping to get FDA approval to start clinical trials here in the United States.
Yeah, there's a lot of action really in foreign countries because it's been difficult to get approval here in the United States, but it sounds like that may happen, and there may be a clinical study up in Massachusetts?
Yes, what we're doing, we've submitted our INDs for the FDA, and we're waiting for approval. And we are talking with Professor Brown, who is an ALS expert at UMass and Mass General, and we're also talking to another very prestigious medical clinic here in the United States. But there's a lot of clinical trials going on. I know we talked about it before. It's just being able to follow the good hospitals that are really doing some really groundbreaking techniques like what Brainstorm is doing. Yeah, and you were talking about moving with speed, and that's what's so frustrating. The people who are suffering from these diseases, especially ALS, can move so rapidly that a lot of the doctors devoted to this kind of treatment want it to happen quickly, and sometimes these things just seem to take too long. Well, unfortunately, a lot of people who have ALS, the lifespan is really not that long. We're talking, once diagnosed, maybe 3 to 5 years, and that's tragic for a lot of these patients and families. So that's why we have a compassionate study at Brainstorm, and I'm hoping that we can get more people on board. But, you know, there's a long waiting list because, you know, we have to wait and see. We can only take so many patients. But a lot of people don't have time, and that's why I'm in an urgency to get this done. I wanted these results, and I want stem cell therapy here in the United States. All right. Well, hopefully that will happen. Thank you so much for being on the show. The best of luck to you and your dad. And it's great to see you. So thanks for all the work you're doing. Thank you.